The link between diet and brain health has long been established, but new research highlights an alarming reality. Even a few days of consuming a high-fat diet can impair memory and trigger inflammation in the brain, especially in older adults. The latest study, conducted on rats, shows that while metabolic and gut-related changes from unhealthy eating take time to manifest, the brain suffers almost immediately. This raises serious concerns about how modern dietary habits, often rich in saturated fats, may be accelerating cognitive decline in aging populations. The findings are particularly troubling because they challenge the common belief that the negative effects of unhealthy eating only emerge after long-term exposure or in the presence of obesity. In this study, aged rats showed significant memory impairments after just 3 days of a high-fat diet, and these impairments persisted over a longer period. Surprisingly, younger rats, despite consuming the same diet, did not experience the same cognitive decline. This suggests that aging brains are far more vulnerable to the inflammatory effects of poor dietary choices. The research exposes an unsettling truth. Memory-related brain damage does not require obesity or prolonged unhealthy eating to take hold. This contradicts the assumption that weight gain and metabolic disorders are the main drivers of diet-related cognitive decline. Instead, the brain appears to react independently and much faster than the rest of the body, showing signs of inflammation almost immediately when exposed to high-fat foods. Given that many fast food meals contain the same proportion of fat as the diet used in this study, it is reasonable to infer that real-world dietary choices may be impairing brain function in older individuals much more rapidly than previously thought. The implications of these findings are particularly worrisome in a world where high-fat, processed foods are more accessible, affordable, and heavily marketed than healthier alternatives. Many older adults, often living on fixed incomes and with limited access to fresh, nutritious meals, are at an increased risk of regularly consuming these damaging foods. If just 3 days of a high-fat diet can trigger memory problems and inflammatory shifts in the brain, the long-term consequences could be severe, potentially accelerating conditions like dementia and cognitive decline years earlier than expected. Beyond memory loss, the study also suggests that high-fat diets disrupt essential proteins in the brain that regulate inflammation. Researchers found that aged rats exposed to high-fat diets exhibited dysregulated levels of cytokines, proteins that signal inflammation, creating an environment in the brain that is not conducive to healthy function. While younger rats seemed to activate protective anti-inflammatory responses, older brains lacked this ability, making them highly susceptible to damage. Over time, persistent inflammation in the brain can erode cognitive function, leading to an increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. This research serves as a stark warning about the dangers of poor dietary choices, particularly for aging populations. While weight gain, diabetes, and heart disease are often highlighted as the primary health risks of consuming too much saturated fat, the immediate effects on brain health should not be overlooked. Even individuals who maintain a healthy weight but frequently consume high-fat foods may unknowingly be harming their cognitive abilities. The brain's vulnerability to inflammation suggests that dietary choices should be considered just as critical for mental health as they are for physical health. If such rapid cognitive decline can occur in just a few days of poor eating, the long-term consequences of habitual unhealthy diets could be catastrophic. The modern food environment, dominated by processed meals, fast food, and high-fat convenience items, poses a significant threat to public health. The study reinforces the urgent need for better dietary education, improved food accessibility, and policies that prioritize nutrition in aging populations. Without immediate intervention, the widespread consumption of high-fat diets may be silently accelerating memory loss and cognitive impairment at an alarming rate. Individuals can take steps to protect their brain health by prioritizing whole, nutrient-dense foods such as vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats from sources like nuts and avocados, and complex carbohydrates. Reducing the intake of processed, high-fat foods and increasing consumption of anti-inflammatory foods could help mitigate the risk of diet-induced brain damage. However, broader systemic changes are needed to ensure that healthier choices are both accessible and affordable, particularly for older adults who may be most at risk. This study underscores a critical point. The consequences of unhealthy eating extend far beyond weight gain and metabolic disease. The brain, one of the most vital organs in the body, is among the first to suffer from poor dietary decisions. Without increased awareness and proactive dietary changes, the hidden dangers of high-fat diets may continue to contribute to widespread cognitive decline, leaving millions at risk for memory impairments and neurodegenerative diseases long before they even realize what is happening.